Good morning and welcome to Herb Oracle Podcast, botanical divination with herbs, essences, flowers, and trees with your host, Herbal Marie. Let's start the day off pulling some oracle cards and getting a few messages. We can shoot the shiitake in a spiritual way-ish. And if you follow me on Instagram, I'll post a pic of the cards at Herb Oracle. Thanks so much for joining me. Here we go. Hey, what's up? Quite the late start today. Like, why even do a podcast? Well, because we're not quitters and we don't give up. It's really easy to quit. It's really easy to give up. It's really easy to get off track. It's really easy to give in to, oh my gosh, pain. Shout out to my mom. She's still in the hospital in a lot of pain and so much extreme dizziness and nausea from a concussion from the motorcycle accident that she was in Sunday. So thank you to everyone who has sent love and prayers. And if you're just hearing about it now, send some healing energy to my mom. If you hear about it today, send it to her. In 2 weeks, send it to her. In 2 months, send it to her. Injuries that she has is going to take a real long time to heal. So whenever you hear this, even if it's in the future, send some love to my mom, Kara. I appreciate it so very much. So, yeah, slept in. What's up? I was so sweaty last night. I changed my shirt twice and gross. I know, I'm sorry. But I just felt like I was purging last night or something. Wow. And I woke up this morning, I thought, I don't even know if my throat wants to talk, but part of my training as a communicator, as an entertainer, broadcaster, it has been completely learning to talk no matter what. And when I first started doing live streams, oh yeah, my throat chakra freaked out, and my vocal cords freaked out, and there was blockages. And now I pretty much can work my way through them no matter what. So yeah, I'm like an octave lower probably today. And that's a little trick of the trade. If you got a little dryness in the back of your throat, just talk lower, my dear. Not that low. Just talk lower, and you bring it down into your throat more and not the back of your, behind your tongue. So it does make a difference. All right. So yesterday, what an amazing podcast for myself. Super selfish experience yesterday. Yeah, I ain't too big to cry. In my podcast, I ain't too big to cry. I totally broke down yesterday because of Kali Ma. Om Krim Kali Kayaye Namaha. And that was amazing. And what was could have been more amazing if I wasn't completely wrapped up in myself. Yeah. Who would have thunk it? Sadie wrapped up in herself. Yesterday was the law of non-attachment. So who better than Kali Ma to come through? Who better? The destroyer of egos. What's up, non-attachment? Of course, I didn't see that because I was just too busy having my own personal experience. I had connected with her energy the night before, and I told you about it, and then crazy enough, that's the card that flies out of the freaking deck. So it was just an amazing Oracle reader moment. So if you have Oracle cards or tarot, you know what I'm saying. There's just sometimes you are impressed. And I was totally impressed with the whole process, the whole art, the whole magic of reading cards. So, yeah, I know a lot of you are going to know what I'm stepping in. So yeah, yesterday was the law of non-attachment. Attachment to self creates karma, and non-attachment to self dissolves karma. And there was a lot to it. One of the notes I wrote down was that we need to realize our nature of self is empty And then I wrote down, free yourself from karmically determined existence with spiritual practice and non-attached behavior. And the big theme yesterday for us was enlightenment is real and attainable. And that message came through several times with the cards that we pulled. Mother Mary too. Okay, and here's another cool thing. Like, I always want to talk. I wish like I could do like a like afternoon podcast. Like, oh my God, you guys, like you're never gonna believe what happened. But we pulled the hibiscus card yesterday with Pele, and this message to move and dance. And I stumbled upon the most incredible dancing video on Facebook, because I'm back on Facebook again because, well, I wanted to take a break, but then this happened to my mom, so now I have to keep updating everyone and, you know, all her friends. My mom has hundreds of friends. Anyways, this dance routine between a man and a man and a woman, but then like another man was involved too. And it was all about this expression of divine masculine and her allowing herself to feel secure and held and let her kundalini rise. And it was an incredible performance and experience for the dancers, obviously, as we laid eyes on them. But it was just so timely and synchronistic and significant to the message that Pele had brought in with dancing. And I was like, whoa. So anyways, there was just lots of cool things that happens. Like, you pull cards and you're like, oh, okay. And then as you go along your day, the confirmations are there. Like, if you're paying attention and open to it, like, you know, confirmations are always ready to serve and validate your experience. So yeah, validating my experience, my spiritual experience, would be a good way to describe how I felt when I pulled the Kali Ma card yesterday. I didn't even pull it. It jumped out of the deck. That validated the spiritual experience I had the night before, and in the grand scheme of things, validates the whole bamboozle wazam. I just want to use like a big ridiculous word to describe my spiritual journey. Like the whole bazam, something. I don't know. We got to make it up. I don't even think the word exists yet. So let's turn the page. So yesterday was 61, the law of non-attachment. Today is 62, the law of non-intervention. All right, this might be interesting, you know, especially my circumstances this week. I did not pre-read. Let's just get it. All right, the law of non-intervention. This law concerns the individual rights of people and society situations to serve self rather than live in the vibration of service to others. This law prevents physical beings and non-physical beings from intervening or correcting what they see as wrong or harmful. If this law is violated, there is great karma incurring. Another aspect of this law is that spirit is not permitted to channel material to a recipient that would force a change in the evolution of the person. There is an exception when the channeler is willing to undergo a trance and the consciousness leaves the body for another consciousness to enter and impart knowledge that was previously unknown to the individual. All right, so all my space movie nerds, law of non-intervention. Like, yeah, you can't be messing with that primitive society, right? I guess this is just a law of the universe, which is why you have to ask for help. Like a guide can't just come in and impose, you know, its knowledge on you. Like, you have to ask for it. You have to give it permission. You have to maybe go into that trance channel state and bring it in. But yeah, I mean, it's not allowed. So that if somebody does that in our life too, I guess, does that seem like it's saying in our life too? Like if we are messing with somebody, or if we think something's wrong, we try to intervene or correct it. Like, does that mean that we're creating karma for ourselves? Yeah, this law prevents physical beings, that's us, and non-physical beings from intervening or correcting what they see as wrong or harmful. Yeah, hello parents. I mean, it's like, yeah, we just want to intervene in our child's life all the time, and everyone we love, to protect them, but it's like, they have their own experiences, their own journeys. That's the thing, like with my mom too. It's like, well, a lot of my channeling friends that bring in information from non-physical, they have all said that we have life circumstances that we have agreed upon, and like even the bad guys in our life, we have a agreement with them that they are going to trigger us and push us and offer us a certain experience. Like before our incarnations, they were like, yeah, I'll come into your life and I love you so much, I'll volunteer to be the bad guy. So it's like when I look at any situation, and of course this week with my mom, I keep every once in a while, when my ego shuts up in my head, there's a voice that says, and they had an agreement. And I hate to hear that. I don't like to hear that. But you know what? I was okay with it. I was okay with hearing it before this happened, but this has made it more real to me, of course. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to look at life like that. But it is a different perspective. All right. So anyways, the law of non-intervention. So for those of us who are like, why can't the Pleiadians just come down here and fix us? Well, they can't, because they cannot, because of the law of non-intervention. Earth was definitely, a zone for a long time that like nobody was even allowed in. They're allowed in now. And so if you want their help, or any angel's help, or extraterrestrial, or non-physical being, or ascended master, or guide, or unicorn, or dragon, you have to ask for what you want. You have to give them permission to assist you, to help you, to guide you, and to educate you too. Yeah, like you have to bring it in with permission. So anyways, the law of non-intervention, it's like, why doesn't God help me? Why doesn't, well, have you given them all permission? Them all them gods? I mean, nobody can impose upon you from the non-physical realm. And in the physical realm, I guess we should understand that intervening or correcting will actually incur us a little bit of karma, especially if like, they're not going to get their spiritual lesson learned. It's like, yeah, you can step in and prevent something from happening, but guess what? They still have to learn that lesson, and eventually it's going to come back around for them to have that opportunity to learn what they needed to learn from it. All right, so that's the law of non-intervention. So I guess I missed Tarot Tuesday Tarot yesterday, so we'll have to make up for it next week. No, we can't do tarot today. It's Wednesday. So today we're going to do the Oracle of the Essences with these beautiful, beautiful cards from Monica the Enchantress from Australia, theenchantress.com.au. So yeah, like what lessons am I learning right now? What lessons is my mom learning right now? What lessons is the lady who is driving the vehicle learning right now? What lessons are we all learning from this? What experience did we think that we wanted from this, for the love of God? Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I know like on a very like basic level, it's like showing me I am not ready to let go of my mom. Like I am talk about attachment. We're doing the law. Yesterday we did the law of non-attachment. I am crazily attached to my mom. And like, wow. And so I'm sure there's something in that realm for me. Probably lots in the healing realm, lots in the judgment realm, lots in the don't retaliate realm. Oh my gosh, I'm still trying to keep my ego in check with wanting justice to be served. And here's the thing, I don't have to be the one to make justice happen because the universe is already on top of that. And all karma will be returned, I'm sure. So let's get some messages just to kind of see what kind of energy is coming through. My cards clearly know everything about me and my situations. And yeah, like what is it about learning these lessons? And I wonder how often our guides sit in non-physical and like watch us. And it's like, okay, here's one popping up in the middle, top and bottom. We're just going to do 3 today. I wonder how often like our guides are like sitting there watching us and just being like, it's killing us not to just jump in and intervene, you know, or they just want to so bad, or, you know, but are they non-attached enough that they're just like watching it like a show or seeing how it plays out, or they're watching us and hoping and sending their wishes that we choose correctly, or I don't know, like someday we'll be the guides. You know that, right? Like right now, we're on the playing field. We're on the theater of life. Like we're on the stage. But someday we will be the guides. We will be the non-physical. So it's just curious to me how that will be. So I'm just looking at the back of the cards. There's a beautiful... The backs of these cards are beautiful. There's a butterfly on like a mint. There is thistles, there is red clover, there is daisies, there is lavender. And they're amazing. And they're kind of growing from both top and bottom of the card. But there's only one butterfly. So I can see that all these are upright because of the butterfly. And our first card is Manuka. Manuka, which is, I hope I'm saying that right, but it's tea tree oil, I believe, or something like it. No, it's something stronger than tea tree oil. Let me get the book. But this is all about relationship rescue and confrontation. So rescue and confrontation, very, very interesting. So that to me, this card to me says, you know, because I was asking, like, what do we have to learn? Well, it's through these relationships with each other that we are learning all of our experiences. So this one depicts a man and a woman, but of course it can be any type of matchup because, yeah, we all have relationship and agreements with each other. So sometimes it's like, you know, someone like I've had like people be rude to me that I didn't know, like just, you know, standing in line somewhere. And it's like to me, like now to me, I'm like, okay, so that person and I on a soul level must have had an agreement. Like they're trying to show me something or trigger something in me. Or it's like when you start to look at every interaction in your life as a relationship, as an agreement, it's like you can really get into the observer role and be like, try to understand it, try to get it, try to be like, what was that all about? Like, you know, instead of getting offended or reacting, like you just kind of sit back and be like, let me try to figure this out. So figuring it out from the observer role, that's what I'm getting from that card, even though I know it has a lot of other messages. I think the very first podcast that I ever did for Herb Oracle here was focused around this card. And of course, back then, it was definitely focused on my own personal marital relationship. So, but now it feels a little bit different. It does touch upon that a little bit for me, but now I'm starting to see my life in a broader sense and seeing that, my relationships span every single interaction. Middle card is neroli, cause and effect. So we have a yellow theme already here because the background of Manuka is yellow, golden yellow, with a touch of orangey in it. And so that is the color of Neroli's desk. Her flowing, did I say desk? Dress. I'm sitting at a desk and her dress is on the desk now, but her flowy dress, she's not wearing a desk. Cause and effect. So yeah, what we need to understand is a lot of the things that happen to us, we set into motion. Cause and effect. We set it into motion. So not everything is like a set in stone soul agreement. We have a lot of influence on what type of things will occur to us and what type of lessons we want to learn. And we have a lot of say in if we learn those lessons or not. So if you're just like walking around like you're not making any effort to understand anything, you're not trying to look at things from different perspectives or gain wisdom, you're just kind of walking around letting life happen to you. And the same kind of stuff can be happening again and again because you're not integrating it, you're not contemplating it, you're not understanding it, you're not transforming it, you're not checking anything off your spiritual to-do list. Like the list is not moving. It's not shortening. Like the best thing about a to-do list is that we cross things off. We check them off. Heck, sometimes you cross so much stuff off, you just get a fresh piece of paper and write down the remaining things with a shorter list, right? Now, of course, spiritually, things get added on there as we're ready for them or, as we want to grow and expand more. But if you're not making an effort, you're not even touching your list. Like, do you really want to get to the end of your incarnation, the end of your life here, and not have done diddly squat? And I'm not talking about physical things. Like, I'm talking about spiritual things, emotional things, karmic things. Like, don't you want to work on your list? So cause and effect, it's just science. It's physics. It's like what you put out, you get back. So yeah, we have things that we came here to learn, but we have so much power and influence within that realm that you can take. You're sovereign. You have to understand that you are the creator of your reality, and what you put out is powerful, whether you realize it or not. Last card, Pettigrain, which is all about judgment and trustworthiness. And this is a little blue-haired elf who sits, he's kind of a stinker, kind of looks like he'd like to play around and get everybody triggered, and, he'd be happy. He would be happy to get under your skin for a minute if it benefited your spiritual growth. But the thing that I always remember about him is that he is an essential part of the community. He wants to be a part of it. He wants to be a part of this play, this theatrical production that we're all in for our soul's growth. And even though he is kind of, I just want to say a little stinker, people know that they can count on him. If they need something, like, he can step up and be there for real, even though he does love to have fun and tease and kind of get everybody going. If you needed him, he would be there. But, personally, that big J word, forget about the F word, the J word is the one in my life, judgment, right? So this week, even though I've been doing the work, I have freaking done the work trying to get my sense of judgment under control towards other people. Regardless, this week, it's being tested. It's being challenged. And I know I have grown spiritually because I am aware of it. I see it. I see it when when my ego is ready to run with it, and I'm stepping back into observer mode and noticing it. And as I say, I see my ego wanting to become judgmental. It dissipates. So I am continually doing the work in that realm, for sure. So anyways, rescue, confrontation, cause and effect, judgment, trustworthiness. What major key words this week in my life and in my mother's life? Rescue, confrontation, cause and effect, judgment, trustworthiness. So the best part about this deck, the Oracle of the Essences, is the companion booklet. Yes, it's awesome. So I know there are other messages here, and I know there are other people in the world other than me. Not to steal the show all the time, but it's my podcast, you guys. But no, I want to read from the book because there might be some other messages that come with these specific cards that will be relevant to you, or you need to hear, or maybe are relevant to me as well that I didn't think of. So I love this book. I love that it starts out with wise words and then a divination meaning. Talks about the healing properties of the essence, and it ends with an affirmation. So you know I love this stuff. The wise words about Manuka are from Zayed K. Abdelnour. Be strong enough to stand alone. Smart enough to know when you need help. And brave enough to ask for it. Oh, wow. I just got chills all over my body because this resonates so much. Yeah, like with myself, with a lot of people I know, and especially my mom. She is strong enough to stand alone. And she is smart enough to know when she needs help. And so I pray she is brave enough to ask for it. This is definitely something that a lot of people need to learn how to do, how to ask for help. So that goes back to what we were talking about with the law of non-intervention. You know, like we have to ask for help spiritually if we want it. And in our physical lives, if we want help, we also need to ask for it. A lot of people are like disabled in their ability of asking for help, or just stubborn AF. They just won't. They refuse to ask for help. So what a huge lesson that probably so many of us collectively are going to have to learn. So yeah, be strong enough to stand alone, smart enough to know when you need help, and brave enough to ask for it. Manuka is a powerful antibacterial, antifungal, anti-inflammatory, and antiviral. Some suggest that it might be even more powerful than Melukia, freaking tea tree. More powerful than tea tree oil. However, both may have their place in our emotional, physical, and mental states. So the therapeutic benefits of Manuka were discovered through the Maori people in New Zealand because they had used it medicinally for hundreds of years. The higher the altitude of the plant, the more powerful the components of the oil extracted, making it a resilient essence. That's very interesting. Manuka will fight for you more than any of the other essences. Oh, that is so amazing. Like just energetically, when you think about spiritual help, energetic help, just circumstances for me this week, for my mom, like the most powerful fighter has come in. Like, thank you. You know what I mean? Like, we ask for help, and guess what? The best of the best shows up first. Manuka will fight for you more than any of the other essences. When Manuka personality is in the positive state, the individual will have peace of mind. They will trust the process, even if it takes a little longer. Because of its ability to cope with harsh environments, Manuka is an ideal nursery crop that provides shelter to more sensitive plants. It is a very nurturing essence, providing support and shelter to the weak. It is related to the heart chakra. There are times in life when we are run down and tired. We just need someone to lend us a hand, someone who truly wants to support us with no strings attached. Manuka does this best by lending a hand to those in need. So yeah, helping people with no strings attached. Helping them because they asked for it and they need it. So the divination meaning, if Manuka comes to your reading, it is time for you allow another to carry you for a time. Allow yourself to give someone else the opportunity to support you. Allow yourself to fall into a dance of receiving while someone else takes charge. You can't possibly do it all on your own. And at the end of the day, we were created equally to support and help each other. Allow that to happen. Okay, so let's get the affirmation from Manuka. I can be powerful and ask for help at the same time. I can be powerful and ask for help at the same time. This is so current for someone specific I know. I can be powerful and ask for help at the same time. And everyone, please, if you need help, ask for it. It's so important. You can still be powerful. It is not any type of degradation to your power to ask for help. If anything, it takes courage to ask for help and strength for ask for help. You have to be brave to ask for help. So it just adds to your own personal strength and character to ask for help. All right, so moving on to neroli, cause and effect. Anna Claudia Antune said, some things happen for a reason, others just come with the season. So that's what she said. The guidebook goes on to say, nothing happens by chance. Every cause has an effect, and every effect becomes the cause of something else. Yeah, it's just like that ripple effect. We are all interwoven. Just as our thoughts and our actions work within the immense grid of knowledge, we are all in oneness. We are all interwoven. We are all connected. The neroli personality understands that we are all one and acts accordingly. Neroli thinks of others just as she thinks of herself, and she would never do what she doesn't like others doing to her. So yeah, we are all cut from the same cloth. So why would we hurt another? Because that we're part of that, right? We are part of that. So she definitely reminds us to treat others as we would like to be treated ourselves. As we all know, energy can't be destroyed. It is always moving and transforming into something else. This suggests that the universe is always in motion and progresses from a chain of events or actions. When neroli is in the negative aspect, it is egotistical and not very compassionate. There are 3 essential oils derived from the bitter orange tree. Petitgrain, which we also got petitgrain, I didn't make that connection. Petitgrain, that's our next card, is distilled from the leaves and twigs. Neroli essential oil is distilled from the blossoms. And wild orange oil is produced by cold pressing the rinds of the fruits. And you know what, at the beginning of this week, we got one of our priestesses had orange blossoms on her card. So essentially, neroli has come to us twice this week now. Okay, each of those essences has their own input into the process of the plant systems, and each of them needs the others. They all work in unison. So yeah, wouldn't it have been cool if we would have gotten orange too? That would have been like a triple wow. But it is also really cool that we got neroli and petitgrain. So neroli is great for support, for relaxation, great for the skin, and assists with hormonal changes. Neroli supports you to maintain good relationships. So yeah, that is really cool that, you know, as we see the couple on the first card, neroli's coming in kind of supporting good relationships. When neroli comes to us in a reading, we need to pay attention to every thought, every word and deed, which is a cause that sets off a wave of energy throughout the universal grid, which in turn creates the effect. So neroli asks you, do you want your effects to be desirable or undesirable? So obviously, we know the answer to that. Adjust your thoughts accordingly. So if there's something that you're like, dang, like, yeah, I guess that is a thought that would create something undesirable. Step out of your ego and become the observer and evaluate yourself so you can see where you are miscreating. And then adjust your thoughts accordingly. Flow with life. Dance with the wind. There is no point in trying to control the riptide right now. Make sure that in the future your actions don't create the riptide in the first place. So yeah, if you're just in a mess right now, it's like just float. Just wait till the waves calm down, and then try not to create it again. Be constant and holistic with your actions. So our affirmation from neroli is, I am in control of my reactions. I write my own destiny, and I create a stress-free world for myself. I am in control of my actions. I write my own destiny, and I create a stress-free world for myself. And ultimately, if we are creating stress-free worlds for ourselves, we are helping the worlds of those around us, because everything has cause and effect, and every effect is a cause, and every cause is effect. It's like it never ends. So make sure you are only putting out the good. So it's interesting to look at this goddess on the neroli, and then basically this little blue squirt of an elf on petitgrain is her little brother. Her little brother that looks like a stinker. But yeah, they work together, and yeah, we're just missing orange. I'm like, want to look at the bottom of the deck. Nope, it's grapefruit. Close, but no cigar. I was like thinking that would be cool if I looked and there was orange there. But no, it's grapefruit with detox. All right, so petitgrain. Pettigrain, all about that judgment and trustworthiness. Thelma Davis had the wise words that said, refuse to inherit dysfunction. Learn new ways of living instead of repeating what you lived through. So, okay, if you lived through some shit, sorry kids, but if you live through some shit, you don't need to keep on re-manifesting, reliving through that. If your parents don't have coping skills, you don't need to inherit those. You don't need to keep the mess alive. You don't need to keep the dysfunction alive. Refuse to inherit dysfunction. High five, Thelma. I agree. She says, learn new ways of living instead of repeating. So true. So, pettigrain. There is pettigrain in every citrus. The citrus oil comes from the peel, and the pettigrain comes from the leaf. Pettigrain is widely used in the perfume industry and is popular among both women and men. So grapefruit, being a citrus, would actually have pettigrain. So there we go. We're not bringing in grapefruit. But she does have a great message to detox your body and also your mind. So yeah, shout out to grapefruit for letting me get a peek of her, because yeah, it's our minds that need detoxed if we are going to get rid of the mental dysfunction. Yeah, we're going to have to detox our belief systems and our thoughts and our repetitive behaviors and our reactions. When the pettigrain personality opens up, it brings forth the best of our culture and creates a positive environment for the community. However, pettigrain personality can also repeat destructive generational and cultural patterns and unnecessary loyalty to unhealthy traditions. Pettigrain encourages you to make your own judgment and assessment of your environment, making sure that the actions you are taking don't affect everyone around you. So we step back to that neroli with the cause and effect. Okay, make sure that what you're doing doesn't cause an effect that's negative in the people around you. For its linalool contents, pettigrain is a great replacement for lavender for calming and relaxing. It is also used to help people with palpitation and hypertension, convulsion, and spasmodic coughing. So pettigrain blends well with cinnamon, geranium, and eucalyptus. So as we look at this card, it's fun. It's real busy. There's oranges in the background. There's orange blossoms. There's the branches of the tree. You know, he's sitting cross-legged, alert. Pettigrain is a teenaged, friendly forest elf. He is there when you need him. His tree house is behind him, and other elves' houses are surrounding the picture, showing that he forms part of a community. He is cheeky and naughty. Yeah, he looks cheeky and naughty. He looks like a stinker. Like, yeah, he could totally be cheeky and naughty. But if you need him, you can depend on him. Whew. So let's talk about the divination, because it's here. It's our third card in the reading today. If pettigrain appears in your readings, it can indicate that you are dealing with a great deal of pain. You could be dealing with childhood fears and dramas. You are encouraged to break the chains and remove negative patterns that you have learned from your family and your cultural background. Release yourself from your duties and attend to what makes you happy, rather than what would make your parents and or community proud. So he is an essential part of the community, but he also knows that ultimately to have a fulfilling, happy life, he has to do what his heart guides him to do. He has to make his own judgments. He has to make his own decisions. And he has to do what he is called to do despite what everybody wants to tell him to do. He must follow his own path. So the affirmation to end today is, I transmute any negative cellular memory and replace it with clear cosmic energy filled with new positive possibilities. I transmute any negative cellular memory and replace it with clear cosmic energy filled with new positive possibilities. So make an intention today to remove the negativity and fill it in with pure positive energy from the universe. As the law of non-intervention says, there's lots of energy that's available to you, but you must ask for it. It cannot be imposed upon you. So ask for your guides to send you healing. Ask for your guides to send you support. Ask for the cosmos to fill you up with that clear cosmic energy so that you can start to produce new positive possibilities in your life, which will ripple out with the cause and effect, right? It will ripple out and help heal all of your interactions, all of your relationships, and all of the energy that is being returned to you. Om Krim Kali Kaye Namaha. So yeah, everything is connected. Yesterday when I pulled Kali Ma, it prompted me to look up her mantra, since the other day we were prompted to start doing mantras. It's all about cause and effect. It's all about being interwoven. Everything is connected. So start to look at your life and connect the dots. See where there is a creation. See where there is a stream of energy flowing that's not serving you anymore. Guaranteed it's coming from you. So clean up, detox, clarify, heal, remedy, learn new techniques to apply to your life, to apply to your thinking, to apply to everything that you do. You're allowed to forge your own path. You're allowed to do things your way. You don't have to keep repeating the old. Now it's time to create a new effect for our relationships, for our interactions, and for the reality that we reside in. So much love to Menuka, Neroli, and Pettigrain. I so appreciate the messages that came in, and I hope that you enjoyed them too. So on a more positive note than we had started on, so much love to you. Enjoy your day, and I can't wait to see you again tomorrow.